What is going on, everybody, and on here? And after a couple fun videos this weekend, really just tackling, we're gonna get back to business. So we're gonna talk about this week in distribution for Pokemon Magic. We're gonna talk about some other sets here. Quick reminder: why Schwartz? We have Nikkei. I'm corrected every time I say that incorrectly. It says reprint. Again, we don't know if it's a reprint or if it's just an extended print run of the first wave. It does have the gold signatures. This is coming out in a couple weeks. So if you're interested, this will be your last opportunity to get it. I don't know if they're going to do an official second wave, which will have the silver signatures or not, but we'll see. And then 2 days for this is Southern to get Azure Lane Volume 2 in. For those of you who don't know, the white sets that do the best have cartoon boobs, right? So Azure Lane Volume 1, I believe, was a 2024 set. And these boxes sell at distribution price between $38 and $45, $46, depending on where you buy them from. Those booster boxes are currently listed at $200 per. So there is some upside in these now, at least in that set. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with it with this set. Apparently, it's a little bit more more nude than the first version, or so I'm told. But the orders are due in 2 days, so it's one of two white sets that I don't want to say is almost a sure thing, but it is a virtual lock to not lose you money, which, at this point in the bull market, it's not about, in my view, how much you're going to make. It's about making sure you don't take any losses, because you shouldn't be. If you're taking losses, chances are you made a bad decision. So, okay, that being said, let's go to Godzilla. I have not seen anything allocation wise on this yet. Supposedly it's just print to demand. Again, this is a Bushi game, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. This releases in about a month, so we should have allocations in a week or two. The only reason I even mention this is because it's a new game. And it does have a little bit of marketing behind it and a decent IP. Bandai, the second set orders are due shortly, I think. The booster display, they're not due for another couple weeks. But the first set boxes come out on the 25th. I have not heard anything about allocations for this at all, other than it's going to be a bloodbath. I've heard that from multiple distributors. Now, what's interesting is with One Piece you can buy through GTS and you can buy through Alliance. With Gundam, all of the four majors are offering Gundam. So that would be GTS, Southern, PhD, and Alliance. So I don't know if they're going to increase the print runs given where they've been with One Piece. But my understanding is, and this I could be proven wrong tomorrow, is One Piece hasn't expanded to any other distributors. My understanding is it's because they can't get enough product for other distributors. So if that's the case, it doesn't quite sync up in my brain as to why they can do it for Gundam, but they can't do it for One Piece. So now theoretically they could sell through 4 distributors and sell half of the volume through each distributor than what they do with the 2 distributors for One Piece. And at that point, it's just a math equation for a larger reach. Don't know. Remains to be seen. Okay, the other game that I get a lot of questions about, League of Legends, this is Riftbound. Some of the orders, some distributors are taking orders through the end of June. Southern is ending them next week. So I've gotten mixed responses about League of Legends. I've heard that it's going to be print to demand. I've also been told that it's not going to be print to demand. So the short answer is nobody has any idea how much of this product is shipping. If I get everything that I've ordered, it's going to terrify me because it means that they just printed the living hell out of it, which again, I don't think could potentially be the case. I know the orders have been pretty healthy for this so far through distribution, at least from the reps that I've spoken to. So we'll see. Not a whole lot to talk about here yet. just because it's so far out. But I did want to mention that because a lot of people are asking about it. It's an October 1st release as of now. I have no indication whether it's going to push or not, but I like to throw that caveat in there because new games almost always push. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Let's go to Magic first. We'll end with Pokemon this week. So Magic, Final Fantasy's out. Completely insane. I think I mentioned last week the gift bundles all pushed to the end of June. The rest of the products have all shipped. The collector commanders initially were a question as to when they were going to ship, but everything shipped last week. The collector boxes are completely insane. They're over $800 now. Now, it'll be interesting because Thursday or Friday of this week, TCG Player will unlock the pre-sale limitation, and we know that there are a lot of folks who got these off Amazon. I don't know when Amazon is going to ship. I know they released that, or they disclosed that the product is going to be released on the 13th of June. If they ship everything all at one time, we could see a lot of no-name sellers come in the market and push the price down for a split second, similar to what happened with Prismatic Evolutions in Pokemon. If that is the case, this is going to be your only opportunity to buy on the open market. For the collectors and the collector commanders, everything else is going to come back at some point. I have no idea when play boxes are going to come back into distribution. Oh, by the way, we did see WotC dumping on Amazon today, yesterday. We're getting right into the sweet spot of the end of quarter dump here, so we'll see what happens. But if you can get the collectors or the collector commanders at a good price, it's worth it at this point. The other thing that's interesting, so the collector commanders, I did a little bit of research today. The two big ones are Warhammer and Modern Horizons 3. Modern Horizons 3 hasn't really performed. It's kind of stagnant. I think it's like $500 or $600 per set. But that was a weird one too, because a lot of the good cards that came out got banned for play shortly after. But the Warhammer decks are right around $1,000 right now. I think when they came out, they were 500-ish. So I can only imagine that these collector commanders are going to push north of $1,500 to $2,000 at some point. I think the MSRP for these is $600, which is what Amazon's selling them for. So that'll be interesting. Edge of Eternities, the orders are due this week for almost all of distribution. I have heard that the purchase orders for distribution for this is obviously significantly below Final Fantasy. What I don't know is it significantly or even marginally below where Tarkir was? If it's similar to Tarkir, it's going to be interesting. If it's less than Tarkir, it's going to be very interesting because I think a lot of people are going to underorder the set just from a cash flow perspective. It's interesting. The one thing that a lot of folks thought was going to happen between Destin Rivals and Magic and these other second tier releases that came out like High Seas was that stores are just they're gonna blow through liquidity. Hasn't quite happened yet with the folks I spoke to. They're getting a lot of credit card declines as they're running payments. But they haven't gotten to the point where folks are like, yeah, I can't pay for that. So hopefully that starts to happen this week. If it's going to happen, I wish no harm on the stores. But if they can't pay, I would be happy to take the product, as I'm sure every other financially healthy store would be as well. So, but Edge of Eternities, super interesting. So we'll see what the indication is on how much quantity is going to distribution on that one. This week, Spider-Man, all bets are off. My guess is it's going to be batshit crazy. Probably not quite to Final Fantasy, but the bar is going to be set so high that the prices are going to be through the roof. And if Final Fantasy collector boxes go up over $1,000, and I think they're going to be over $1,000 by the 4th of July. Just my own personal guess, based on what I see now. The Spider-Man boxes are going to be $700-800 pre-release. Which again it's absolutely astronomical. The other thing, I did have a message about Edge of Eternities, the showcase card, showcase headliner, whatever it is. Um, Sovera the Void or something like that. So apparently at MagicCon Chicago, they showed a picture of it's two colorless, two black, and it's basically like a black hole. And claimed that somebody mentioned to me that that was going to be the showcase card. I don't know for sure, but apparently they showed a printing in five different colors, one of each five the color palette. Um, Now they showed the card's art. They didn't show what the card does. So it's going to be interesting because we're going to get to the point. I believe MagicCon Vegas is coming up next weekend, or maybe this week. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention to the nerd stuff. People just kind of fill me in on it. But we'll have some idea of what the serialized card is going to look like for Edge of Eternities, and hopefully this is. We've seen a lot of niche cards that have limited play in certain scenarios. It would be interesting if this serialized card is a must include in every commander deck. That would be super cool. It would also help prop up a set that, quite honestly, is probably going to be forgotten here, even though those are the sets that I love the most. So we will see this week. Moving on to the Pokemans, everybody's favorite. So Destin Rivals is out. Destin Rivals is gone. There's no product out there. All the stores are sold out. TCG Player is pretty bare. Now, the singles are plummeting, as they do with every release, but the booster boxes continue to climb because they just don't exist. I've seen one distributor come to market with additional product. There's probably another one, if I had to guess. We'll start to see something next week. Now, there's certainly not distribution pricing, but it's certainly enough for any store to make a reasonable margin. So that'll be interesting. We have the Cynthia Garchomp EX coming out this week. Then we have the Mewtwo and the Charizard EX coming out in 2 weeks. Now, these are just 4 packs, 5 packs, 6 packs, etc. And then we have Ogre Pond, which got pushed back. This is the 10 pack. Kind of the new thing that they're messing around with is the EX box with 10 packs. That ends up being like 40% more expensive. Read that as more margin than booster bundles. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to go with these. I could be totally reading into it wrong, but it makes all the sense in the world on the business side. Black and white, we have allocations from everybody except for one major, and then Alliance. Alliance is going through. I think they're through the rough time right now because their deal with Universal closed. It'll be interesting to see if there's any behavioral change. I don't know anything about Universal. I just know what people have told me, which is, well, we'll just leave that at that. So there's one major who hasn't allocated, and then a couple small guys, but everything else is out, and the allocations are strong. I think I mentioned before there's about 150% of the total ETBs versus prismatic evolutions. Now the problem is that's across 2 SKUs, but the numbers are quite good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the numbers. I don't understand why the big shops are complaining about it. If you're gonna make $500,000 instead of $750,000, nobody's gonna shed a tear. So we'll see. Then the only other thing of note, we should, now that Black and White is officially released in Japan, which it was this weekend, we should start seeing some spoilers for Mega Evolutions. I would imagine they would really start the hype cycle running up to the ZA game coming out the middle of October, and really start to dovetail the two of these together just to maximize the hype cycle. But we had the Pokemon holiday calendar, which looks pretty cool. Apparently there's an extra pack this year. I opened one with my kid last year, which is the first time I ever did it. It's cool. And the fact that it has, I think, six packs here, it'll have some value at some point, as things age. So we'll see. And I would imagine it's probably going to have, release date 8/22. It's probably going to have Journey, Destined, Surging Sparks. I don't know exactly. I think it has the list of cards on the back too. Let's see if they actually show. No, but the stamp Glaceon looks really, really super cool. So, yeah, I think it'll certainly be a very cool product. So, anyway, guys, that's all we have for this week. If I get any updates during the week, I'll run a video on them. If not, have a great Sunday. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the Discord. Have a good night.